Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to take a look at Mega Lucario with Mega Hawlucha. This is a deck that I must admit, as soon as I saw Mega Hawlucha, this was definitely one that I said, yeah, I'm not going to build like a standalone Hawlucha deck, I'm just going to pair this with Lucario. Because for the investment that Mega Hawlucha requires, it's not really worth it. So as per usual, in the description below, there's going to be visual links, double the deck list, which is also available to copy in the description below, double the games that we'll play, and the outro and what I think of the deck. So of course, as I said, I am pairing it with Mega Lucario EX. He just seemed like the best fit, and well, he accelerates fighting energy, so, you know, we might as well. Obviously, there are a couple of things that I want to change about this list, but I'll leave that up to your lot's discretion like I usually do. I felt pretty comfortable with how the list is at the moment, but obviously there are a few things that you could change about it. Obviously, I've maxed out the Premium Power Pro to give Mega Lucario the highest chance of taking a one-shot knockout. Obviously, we're playing Max Belt as the A spec, but obviously we want to be using Aura Jab early on to set up our Mega Hawlucha. Speaking of Mega Hawlucha, we are playing two copies. This is just so I don't prize it, because one thing I've noticed is when I've been testing at least the Megazord X and Y deck, because I've paired them both together, I've been prizing the Y specifically a lot. So to avoid that happening, I'm playing two Mega Hawlucha. And well, on the surface, it doesn't seem too bad. Obviously, a basic, ability is pretty okay. But it's the attack and the health that worry me. So the ability obviously can be played around. It's similar to Pikachu EX, but obviously this is a little bit different. So we have the ability Tenacious Body. If this Pokemon will be knocked out by damage from an attack, flip a coin. If heads, this Pokemon is not knocked out and its remaining HP becomes 10. Now, obviously it's basically a Temu Pikachu because Pikachu doesn't need to flip a coin to actually do it. This has to, and well, a lot of the time it's been tails in testing, and well, as you can imagine, giving up free prize cards, not exactly great. Then, of course, we have the attack Somersault Dive for 120 plus for 2 fighting and a colourless, which, of course, will be all fighting. And, well, if a stadium is in play, it does 140 more damage and it discards a stadium. So we're playing 4 stadiums to potentially, max out the damage of Mega Hawlucha. But, yeah. Personally, a card that just reminds me of Rey Mysterio, the old WWE wrestler, shouldn't be this poor, and I must admit I was a little bit disappointed with this card. But hopefully we can get to do some work with it today. So, let's go to the deck list, and let's have a proper look. And welcome to the deck list. This has been so far one of the more easier Megas to construct, I must admit, because obviously I'm not building it as a standalone deck. I'm actually putting it into another archetype. And I think that's probably the best way to play Mega Hawlucha, because obviously the ability Tenacious Body is just a worse Pikachu. And, there are times where, I have flipped heads and I've been like, oh, it actually survived, and then obviously I can Turo it afterward. But, it's one of those things, like, there's a lot of things that you can obviously add in to obviously try and reduce the chance of that. But, like, Mega Hawlucha obviously has the ability to Tenacious Body, as we've already established, but you don't really want to play something like Survival Brace, which can also be played around as your A-spec. And, I just don't think this card is worth building around, but, I mean, like I said, Lucario just felt the best way to play it. So obviously we'll play a 3-2 Mega Lucario line, a 3-2 Hariyama line, 2-2 of the Lunatone and Solrock, 2 Mega Hawluchas, and of course 1 Fez. Then we're playing 4 Arven, 4 Lillies, 2 Iono, 2 Turo, 2 Boss, 4 Premium Power Pro, 4 Fighting Gong, 2 Ultra Ball, 2 Night Stretcher, 1 Nest Ball, 1 Counter Catcher, 2 Air Balloon, 1 Maximum Belt as our A-spec, 2 Gravity Mountain, 2 Artisan to obviously give the Mega Hawlucha a little bit more value, and plus playing double Gravity Mountain is never a bad thing, and of course 8 Fighting Energy. So one thing I will say is I would love to have a 9th Fighting Energy in this list. There has been times where I've prized a couple and it's quite hard to find energy even with the 4 Fighting Gong and stuff like that. Obviously, if you was to take this list away yourself and you just want to have Lucario or Mega Hawlucha in the deck list, just play 1, because, it's not a very good attacker in its own right. But obviously with Max Belt, it can hit 310, Premium Power Pro can potentially bump it even higher, but it's more the investment and the fact that you have to have a stadium down. Obviously we don't play a way to search our stadiums, but that's why I'm playing 4 of them, just so we have the chance of doing so. And obviously our opponent's stadiums will count towards that. But like I said, this card just doesn't feel like it's worth building around. But anyway, let's get into a match and see how we do. And welcome to the first game. I've been playing a few different decks. I've recently been enjoying Team Rocket's Honchkrow. I played a list that I've got. Very similar to, I think, Chef Husky's build. And also Avatar Clash's build. They're very, like... The problem is with that deck is you don't really have, like, you know, a huge, like, difference in variation of lists. Because it's kind of like Raging Bolt. Do I want to go first? Sure, why not? It's kind of like Raging Bolt. Like, there's not many, like, different cards you can add into Bolt and then say, hey, this is my list, you know? That is a horrendous starting hand. But, I mean, it's not the worst, but, you know, I would like one of these to be a Solrock and at least the Hariyama to be a Fighting Energy, but... Okay, this is going to be rough. That is Team Rocket's Murkrow. There's a Fighting Energy at the very least. So I'll do that, bench you, attach to you, and I will pass. This is going to be a tough matchup. There are a single prize archetype. We do have single prize attackers, but, well, you know, with the case of the Solrock, we do need, you know, a Premium Power Pro to take out a Murkrow. Because obviously Murkrow does resist fighting, but, you know, this could be tough. This could definitely be tough. There's a Team Rocket's factory, so they get additional draw. This is definitely an unfavored matchup because, you know, Team Rocket's, well, Honchkrow does 60 times. They only need to discard 6, which that's not difficult to do in that deck. There's Mega Hawlucha. That's not particularly useful, so I'm just going to Arven. I could grab... Well, I definitely want to grab Air Balloon. I know that much. I think I just grab Ultra Ball and just go swinging with Lucario because I can still take this out. I think that's my best line, because obviously I don't really have a way to set up anything else. Yeah, we're just going to do it. So I'll Ultra Ball away the second Lunatone, and I'll get rid of the Hariyama. So I can then grab the Mega Lucario. I've prized nothing else, that's good, in terms of Pokemon. I prized an Iono, so that's going to be a problem in this matchup. And I've also prized a Fighting, but we will deal with that. So we'll evolve to the Mega Lucario, attach that, and we'll Origin for 100. Take out the Murkrow. Like I said, this is a pretty tough matchup for us, because, you know, they have a lot of, you know, single prizes. They don't play 2 prizes. They may play a Fez, which we could capitalize on, but it's very unlikely to play a Fez in this list because of, you know, how it can be. They could obviously do things like, you know, they could do Deceit and obviously search for a support card. They could also use Torment to potentially disrupt us here, but they're just going to Petrol for a Pokepad and get themselves a Honchkrow. We've just got to hope he doesn't have 6 supporters in hand, because otherwise this is going to get messy. There's Transceiver, so he's grabbing another supporter card. Another Transceiver. So he's got at least 3 supporters in his hand, so this is going to hurt, I'm afraid. Obviously, Hawlucha technically wouldn't be a bad idea in this matchup. The problem is, obviously, this was this fighting, so we'd have to rely on them putting a Team Rocket's factory into play, essentially. But obviously, we have 4 stadiums of our own, so that's just something to bear in mind. I highly doubt he's got 6 in hand, but it could be possible. Let's see. And he does. That's his entire hand, though, but obviously he does take 2 prize cards. Well, 3 prize cards, sorry. I don't know why I said 2. To be fair, I've not long finished work and I'm a little bit tired, so, you know. I had the early shift today, so that's kind of why I'm a bit drowsy, so to speak. So that's Fez for 3. We don't really get anything. I can bench the Mega Hawlucha, though. I can bump their stadium so we can thin a... like, I need to thin a Riolu out, preferably. I could grab a Solrock, so obviously I can Fighting Gong. But then I'd need to find a way to retreat this Riolu, and there's no chance I get that. So I think I just play it safe and grab a Riolu. So I'll Fighting Gong to guarantee myself an energy now. Because I will need Lucario plus Premium Power Pro. That's the only thing. And then we'll Iono. Okay, I don't get what I need. That is kind of shite. I can Power Pro and hit this for 30. Because that is technically relevant. I'm just going to do it because it's technically relevant. Because if I evolve this into the next one into Lucario, I can then take this out without needing to pop a Power Pro. So I think it's fine. But yeah, this is a horrible matchup. The fact that he had 6 in his hand was just shocking. Like, not much I can do there. The Articuno's not a problem because, well, we don't really do effective attacks and stuff. There's an Ariana for 7, so they definitely have the knockout here. There's a Porygon. Whiffing that Lucario is definitely going to hurt. There's the Punk Helmet. That's a clever tech, actually. Especially in this matchup. It means they have to discard 5. Excuse me. There goes 2 Petrels. Yeah, we're not winning this game, so I'm just going to promote the Riolu and just hope for the best. Obviously, that was our only Iono. That's something to just remember. We only had the one Iono. So let's go Artisan. Obviously, that's our last Riolu, so I'm going to get a Solrock down just so I can get some draw. I'll then Lunacycle. Okay, that's actually pretty good. But obviously, with a 5-card hand, there's a very high chance they have it. But, well, there's not much I can do here about it. And obviously, because of the 30 ping we did earlier, that does mean that I get to take this out with Aura Jab. And while all they need is, you know, as I say, Gust, and then that's it. Obviously, we take the 4 from the Team Rocket's Honchkrow and the Punk Helmet, but yeah, sorry, my mouse double-clicked then. Yeah, this is very bad for us, let's just say. I mean, if this Lucario survives the turn, I can Turo and go into Hawlucha, but, you know, I'm not really confident about that. They should have the knockout, they only need 5. And obviously they get their top deck, which could be a supporter for all we know. There's a Pokepad. There's a Porygon. Okay. Another Pokepad. Okay, there's another. Reconstitute. I don't think they have the knockout. And if they don't, that's actually pretty good for us. Because it means I can Turo this Lucario. Oh, they got their Ariana. No, that's bad for me. That's really bad for me. That probably means they have the knockout. They just need 5, not 6 this time. They only need 5. Oh, that's so bad. I think we just lose here. Yeah, we just lose here. There's no way he doesn't have it. Unless he's attaching there for a reason. That could be something, you know. We could potentially survive this turn. Because he's evolving. He wouldn't be doing this if he didn't have the knockout. Unless he's just BM, in which case he's just being a dick. But, you know, that's standard for the format, I'm afraid. There's a Petrel. I suspect he has 5 in hand, but we'll soon find out. Rocket Feathers. We're about to find out. Is my Hawlucha going to get any value? It is. So we're going to get to attack with Hawlucha this turn. That is fine by me. Okay, so we're going to Turo this Lucario immediately. We're going to go into the Mega Hawlucha. Then I'm going to rebench that Riolu. I don't need to use a Power Pro because obviously we have a Stadium in play. And I'm just going to Somersault Dive. Discard the Stadium and take out the bird. Now, obviously, Hawlucha is not invincible, but we already knew that. Back in a moment. And unfortunately, it seems that my opponent had a Giovanni, and yeah, we lost that game, but at least we got to attack with Hawlucha, but, well, unfortunately, I couldn't stop the Giovanni. Let's go to game 2. Welcome back to game 2. That was an unfortunate loss there, but at least we got to attack with a Hawlucha. But, of course, they had Giovanni, so they was able to, you know, do that. But still, I'm not too fussed. I mean, like I said, that was the best chance we had in that matchup, was Turo the Lucario and attack with a Hawlucha. But, unfortunately, we wasn't able to do so. And to be fair, if the Hawlucha had survived the turn, we would have needed to have popped that Power Pro, plus pop another, and just hope that we, you know, potentially draw to a Stadium would be another idea, but still. Let's go first again. Didn't go too well going first last time, but it's fine. Let's see what we're up against. Ooh, okay, that's not the worst. I can start the Solrock at the very least. Because I can Arven for the Fighting Gong anyway, so it's fine. Moltres, okay, that's fine. There's a Riolu, that's excellent. I'm not going to bench the Hawlucha now. I'm just going to attach the Solrock and I'm going to pass. Let's see what we can do. So Moltres is in a lot of archetypes, so there's not really definitive answers to what we're playing against. Poffin. Could this be Pull? Because I know Pull Noir is playing Moltres now. No, it is Charizard. Okay, this will be interesting. Them actually starting the Moltres is a problem for us, but they're giving us a Stadium, which is good for Hawlucha. Obviously, Hawlucha can take out a Charizard, but we would need Max Belt plus Premium Power Pro to do it. Same for Lucario, but obviously Lucario can do it a lot sooner, which is kind of why, you know, Mega Hawlucha is not a great card, but, you know, at least we get a free search off of Artisan at the very least, but, you know, I would like to take out this Moltres, but it's not a big deal if we don't. Because obviously I don't want to invest 2 Power Pros to do it. So I'm going to grab Pidgeotto, a Fez, and a Charizard. I think that's going to be it. Yep, it is. Perfect. Alright, well we might as well get a free Artisan in. We'll grab ourselves the Rock. So let's have a look at the deck. So I have prized a Riolu, but that's fine. I can live with that. I've prized a Hariyama, but that's also fine. I've got a Hawlucha and a Lucario in hand. We've got both Ionas in there. We've got a boss in the prizes as well. And we've also prized a Gravity Mountain, which is actually going to matter in this matchup. But again, I'll live with it. Let's go for a Lunar Cycle. Okay, that is really good. We can take out a Pidgey, which I'm more than happy to do that. So I'll do that. Do I want to bench Mega Hawlucha now? I'll evolve this to Mega Lucario now, I think, because I can protect it. I can evolve it and then obviously attach an energy. And yeah, I'm going to boss the Pidgey. Because Pidgey's more important to their deck than obviously, you know, Charizard. We can deal with a Charizard. I'm not worried about it. I'd rather take out the Pidgey because then their Pidgey doesn't provide them any help. And there's Gravity Mountain. So now all that means is, if they do go Charizard this turn, all I need to do is go Arven for a Fighting Gong plus the Max Belt. And then I just put Gravity Mountain into play and that's that. So, this is looking pretty good for us so far. There's another Pidgey. Flip the script. They're probably going to get a Rare Candy Charizard this turn, but we can deal with it if they do. There's a Charmeleon. I'd love to also get a thingamabob established, a Makuhita at some point. Having 3 Gus on a Pokemon, which could also be a single prizer, is pretty good to have. But yeah, hopefully I'm going to get a couple of other decks done, which you'll see throughout the week, hopefully. It depends on, obviously, how much free time I have. There's Charmander, getting an energy. He's going to Blaze and Destruction, take out the Stadium. He could. No, he's going to retreat. Into the Moltres. Okay, that's fine. Candy. Charizard. Have you got Counter Catcher in hand for the Lucario? It's the only reason why you'd be making this play. He's only got 2 energy there. He's going to boss. Is he going to boss the Lucario? He could boss the Lunatone, but no, he's going to go for the Lucario, which is fine because I have Turo in hand. I can deal with that. Does mean we obviously lose out a little bit, but you know we can reset this. It's not a big deal. I mean, if we get a fighting energy, like if we manage to get a fighting energy and draw into another boss, well then again that was only a boss, wasn't it? Anyway, let's go for an Artisan, and we will grab a Riolu. Obviously, we've already established we've prized one. See, the thing is, do I just play Turo and hit this with a single prize Solrock? I think I do. Because at the end of the day, their Moltres can't deal with Solrock. They have to deal with it with Darkzard. So I think it's fine to do that. So I'll promote the Solrock. I'll bench you again. And yeah, I'm just going to Cosmic Beam. Because that way we're denying 3 prizes from our opponent. We're putting pressure on their Moltres. Moltres isn't a big threat in this matchup, but it could get spicy later with it. Because obviously Darkzard can obviously come in and do some big damage. But that tells me, because obviously they only accelerated 2 off the Darkzard, they've prized a few energy. There's Darkzard getting another energy. He's going to go into the Darkzard. Okay. Okay, I don't know why you're emoting, because if it wasn't for that Moltres ping, I could kill this, so I don't know why you're doing that, but sure. So we will take advantage of his Artisan to get another Solrock down. I'll then Arven to grab Air Balloon plus Fighting Gong. So Fighting Gong, grab an energy, Air Balloon the Lunatone, attach to the Riolu on the bench, and I think I just leave it there. There's not really a lot I can do right now, but obviously next turn I can kill this Darkzard. Assuming it doesn't have Gust, which, knowing Zard players, they always have it. There's a Clops. The Clops doesn't really do anything for him right now. And he's just going to burn in darkness. Perfect, we can take out this Darkzard. That is fine by me, Chief. We can take out this Darkzard and just go ahead. So I'm happy to do that. I could even Gust the Fez and take that out, but I don't need to do that right now. So let's Artisan. We'll grab ourselves a Makuhita this time, because obviously we want free Gust. Free Gust is free Gust at the end of the day. Do I want to bench this Mega Hawlucha? I don't think I do, because obviously I'm going to be using a Fighting Gong this turn. So I'm going to grab you and the Max Belt. So then Gravity Mountain, Max Belt, Fighting Gong, grab an energy. Do that. And Mega Brave 320, take out the Darkzard. Good night, sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite. Or the charger bugs bite. I don't know if you can make a Pokemon pun off of it, but I guess you could. If you try hard enough, that is. Obviously, the only bad thing here is if they manage to pop the Noir plus get another Darkzard established. But the thing is, they've got 4 energy in the discard pile. They can't do everything in one turn, but then again, this is Zard, so... The nice thing is obviously we can go Gust with the Lucario this turn, take out the Fez or the Charmeleon. In fact, I'm tempted to take out Dusclops, because then I can bench Mega Hawlucha, charge it up with Orajab, because obviously we can't use Mega Brave back to back, but it's fine, because we have Hariyama for soft Gust, so that's at least something. The best thing for them to do is to give it the Moltres, because they don't seem to have it. Because they've just Fezzed for turn. So like I said, I can bench Mega Hawlucha. There's Jet Energy. I'm not sure why they're attaching. They could have just free retreated with this. Oh no, this Pidgeot is the 90 HP. I forgot about that. I don't know why people are playing that. Just play the one from 151. It has free. They're doing an evolution this turn. Counter Catcher. Okay. Do we have an Air Balloon left? No, but we do have a Turo left, so we could draw into it. There's Noir. So now we're playing the dirty game. That's fine. I can deal with that. So let's see what we do. There's Lilies. Now what I'm thinking is I Gust the Dusknoir, because that forces him to pop it. Unless he plays Turo himself. You've got a 3 retreat Pokemon in the active. I have a 3 retreat Pokemon. I'm not going to bump the stadium. I'm just going to play the Lilies. Okay, we can get some draw. That's good. We can do that. So we could draw into our second Turo. I think the second Turo was in deck. Yes, it is. That's fine. So then we'll Lunacycle. Okay, that's fine. I can Nest Ball for another Makuhita. Just so we have it. Do I want to attack? I don't think I do. I just pass here. Because now what I'm forcing them to do is I'm forcing them to pop the Noir if they don't play Turo, or if they have second Jet. I don't know if they have second Jet, that's the problem. But if they pop the Noir, we could be okay here. It's if they go Noir, Boss Lucario, get Charizard, then that could be an issue. But we will see what happens, I guess. But then again, even if they do that, I can just go for game with Solrock on the Moltres. So either way, we do kind of benefit here. But again, no, I can't because I would need to be on 1 or 2 prize cards remaining to do that. So this could get ugly, to say the least. There's a Super Rod, because like I said, they had to put back energy. Because their Dark Side is doing nothing right now. But obviously they can't leave my Lucario unanswered, so to speak. There's Dark Side. Dark Side's got Infernal Rain, that's fine. Yeah, this is getting pretty dicey, I must admit. Double energy to the Dark Side. This could get ugly, that's for sure. This could definitely get ugly. Let's see what they do. Because like I said, they could pop the Noir, but like Noir doesn't really do them anything. There's another Jet, so they're going to do that to the Moltres. They've only played 1 boss, 1 counter catcher. So they could have Gust, but obviously I did take a prize card. They're just going to pass. Okay. That is fine. So we'll go for a Lunar Cycle. Okay. I don't get anything, unfortunately. Because obviously I've already committed both my Air Balloons. Obviously we had one on the Lucario earlier. I think I just do the same thing. So I just Gust the Dust Noir and force them to pop it. I think that's what I do. So I Ultra Ball, get rid of Artisan, and probably Counter Catcher. Because I actually know I'm going to keep that. We'll just get rid of another Ultra Ball. I'll grab the second Hariyama. And I'll Gust the Dust Noir again. I think that's what I do. And then I think after that, I could Arven for a Night Stretcher, get back my Riolu, because I've still got the other enterprise cards. So I think I'll do that. So I'll play Arven, grab a Night Stretcher, play the Stretcher, grab Riolu, bench that, and pass. Like I said, I'm trying to force him to pop the Noir. If he does, he does. I'm not too worried. Because if he does pop the Noir and, you know, he manages to Gust Lucario and take 3 prizes, we do potentially have game with Gust on the Fez if he does that. Like I said, I'm happy to leave my Hariyama in the active. He's not really doing anything that constitutes anything. There's Arven. CC Max Belt. I think that's, yeah, that's game, unfortunately, because he can just go pop the Noir, hit the Lucario. Well, then again, no, it doesn't. Oh, no, it does. It does. Because he goes to 300, yeah, he's got game. Of course, he has to be a dick and use an emote, but that's standard. But no, unfortunate loss against Darkseid there. We unfortunately wasn't able to get the Hariyama out the active, and that's what kind of let us down there. But hey, we'll take it. Let's go to game 3. And welcome back to game 3. Obviously, we wasn't able to use Mega Lucario or Mega Hawlucha in that game, but well, it was too risky for it. Obviously, Moltres would have a field day with it, with its ability and everything. Dust Noir was such a threat, and obviously us having our Hariyama gusted and we couldn't find Turo was kind of bad for us. If we was able to take out the Dust Noir, we could have been fine that game, but unfortunately we wasn't able to. But still, it's something. You know, I'm not going to be sugarcoating it. We lost because we just couldn't find our Turo, but, you know. That is a horrendous starting hand, but luckily that's a mulligan. I would not want that hand going first. Let's see what we get. Just one mully, that's fine. And we start the Solrock. That is fine. Although, I'm probably just going to Ultra Ball away one of the Fightings and the Mega Hawlucha, just so I can get draw. It depends on what I top deck. That could be a deciding factor. Let's see what we get. Teal Mask Ogopon. Okay, that is fine. Makuhita, I can afford to throw away you two, because it means I get a turn attachment onto my Solrock. So I've got the other Hawlucha in there in case we need it, so that's good. I've prized one Hariyama, but that's okay. Or did I just throw one away? I think I threw one away. No, it's the Makuhita. Other than that, everything looks pretty standard. We've got a Lillie's in hand, which we can use next turn. And we've not prized any stadiums, and we've not prized any energy, so I will take that. So then we will Lunar Cycle, get ourselves some drawing. Okay, that's not particularly great, but we can at least attach to the Solrock, and we will pass. I would have liked to have gotten a Riolu down that turn, but it's not a big deal. We can deal with that. And it looks like it's just going to be Venusaur. That is fine. We can deal with that. As much as I'd love to play Boss's Orders this turn, I kind of need to just get a board established. Like, I'm not going to win this by just, you know, hand-holding them with, you know, Tilmas and stuff like that. I'm not just going to win by Gust and Chikorita's all game. Because, you know, Tildance in itself, well, Mirror Leaf Shower in itself is a threat to this deck, because of obviously our backup attacker being the Solrock weak to grass. I mean, it doesn't matter anyway, because Tilmas would just destroy it anyway, but you get my point. There's a Pokepad. That's one thing that I didn't bother putting in this list, is Pokepad. We have that much draw with these Lunatone Solrock. And obviously we want to play at least a couple of Ultra Ball to obviously find our Lucarios, but still, that was just my thought process at the time. There's an Arven, however I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to use that, and we'll Lillies. Get ourselves a fresh hand. There's a Riolu, that's fine. I can Cosmic Beam this, and then it makes our job a little bit easier later on. I'm going to bench this, just in case they kill this one, and I will Cosmic Beam for 70. Obviously, if they Gust a Riolu, that's kind of bad, but we'll deal with it. There's Forest. Obviously, we will need Gravity Mountains in this matchup. That's something to consider. And there's the Venusaur. That's the promo one, isn't it? Yes, I thought it was. And of course, there's Bayleaf, which means they probably have Meganium, and they do, because grass decks are insane now. And there's a Judge. Okay, I was expecting Iono, but Judge is an interesting one. Okay, that's not too bad. So they can Solar Transfer and just get aggressive immediately, which is their choice, of course. But do I think this is correct? Probably not, but, well, that's their decision now, isn't it? I'm not going to tell my opponent how to play their deck, exactly, am I? Okay, so we do need that, so I will pop that now. I don't need to bounce this Stadium, but I will grab a Fighting Gong and an Energy. Because then I can Lunatone, then Lillies. So I'm seeing the most amount of cards. Well, that solves that problem. So there's Lucario. And yeah, I'm just going to Lillies. Get myself a fresh 8. Excellent, that's what we like to see. So I will bench you, and yeah, we will just Aura Jab for 160, take 2 prize cards on the Teal Mask, take his energy out of play. And I will set up you, and you. I couldn't get Hawlucha down this turn, which is what I'd like to have done, but it's okay, we can deal with it. There's another Hariyama at the prize cards, good. Because I can Arven for Fighting Gong, get myself the Hawlucha, because Hawlucha could kill this, funnily enough. You would need 2 Power Pros plus the Max Belt, but it is possible. So we will try and do that. Because I can, obviously we have just committed our energy to, you know, our backup attackers, but this is just in case the Lucario goes down. But hopefully he doesn't. He can attack with the Venusaur now, if he wishes. Could we get there? As in, like, damage-wise. We would need a lot, and I don't think we can get there. I could always just take out the Teal Mask. I guess. I could always just take out the Teal Mask. I don't know. Let's find out. Plus, as well, I could always just take out the Meganium, and then that puts them behind quite a bit. Because obviously they would need quite a bit of, you know, supporting and stuff like that. But obviously I want to try and get Hawlucha down, because, well, that's the purpose of the video and all. There's Pokepad. They're probably going to establish another Meganium just in case, or at least threaten the Mega Meganium. That might be something they do, threaten the Mega. Bug catching set. I'll be very surprised if they do not play the Mega, but we will see what happens, I guess. They can Teal Dance for an extra card, at the very least. That's fine. Ultra Ball. They're throwing away a lot of resources. They're not even taking prize cards this turn, so I don't know why they're going over commitment. There's Mega Meganium. We could gust that. We could very much gust that. There's Jungle Dump. We could actually... Can we take this out? Hold on. So we would need... no, hold on. Arven Gust. Well, Arven... Well, so we've got Hariyama for Gust. Arven for Fighting Gong. Yeah, we can kill this, I think. But no, we can't. We're one short. Well, we'll play the Arven anyway, because I need to anyway. So I'll grab Premium Power Pro. Then again, if I grab Premium Power Pro, 180... No, that doesn't do enough. So I need to grab Fighting Gong. So yeah, 270, 320. Yeah, we're one short. We would need... Do I risk it off the draw here? I could. You know what? Let's do it. Let's risk it with a draw. Okay. Does that get us any closer? I mean, obviously it gets us a fighting energy. I could Hariyama and, like, Gust, but, like, this is only a 2 retreat cost. 320, 350. Yeah, we're just short. Actually, I can Air Balloon this. I can Hariyama the Mega Meganium. I can force him to bring that up. I can't knock this out. I'm 10 short, which is unfortunate. If I go into... I can Fighting Gong, actually. I can attach to the Mega Hawlucha. But then I'm not really doing anything after that. I'm going to Fighting Gong again. I'm going to grab the Mega, just so I have it. Do I just whack this and Aura Jab attached to Mega Hawlucha? I think I do. I can threaten the Max Spell on it as well. I think we'll just do that. I don't think this is the correct play, but for the purpose of the video, I think it is. Because now we hit 260, knock this out. Because then that gives us Counter Catcher, and obviously we're hoping, well, the real word here is coping, and hoping that, you know, Mega Hawlucha can tank a hit. Yes, they can knock us out with the Mega Meganium, but the point is that I can bring up Hawlucha, we can CC it, well, we don't need Power Pro, but hopefully we can knock this out, and then potentially go for Gust for game, with, like, Boss or something. Because they're already taking 3 prizes here. They go down to 2. So I think I'm doing the right thing, but I don't know. I'm not really sure. Because either way, unless they... Like, obviously they've just Lillies, so that's what is leading me to believe that they don't have Gust. Solo Transfer. They're probably just going to attack with the Mega Meganium. But then obviously I can respond with Poker. Can I kill this Venusaur, though? If I get... How many Power Pros have I played? 1. So we do 310, 340, 370. If we had the Gravity Mountain, we could actually kill this Mega Venusaur, assuming Hawlucha survives. Which it probably won't, because I've had horrendous luck with it. They only need 2 energy on the Meganium to actually attack. And I think they're just going to go Giant Bouquet. No, they're retreating. They're going to attack with Teal Mask, I think. No. Okay, why are you attacking with Venusaur? I could potentially kill this. I mean, even then, I don't have to. I can just CC this and just, you know, I can go from there. Because that's heal damage from this Pokemon. I don't have to target this. I can target this and then this. Or this. Interesting play for my opponent, but I don't think that's correct. But let's see what happens, because we've not got many options at this point. Teal Dance again. Obviously trying to find something. But you've already supported for turn. And yeah, there we go. Jungle Dump for 240. Take the knockout on the Mega Lucario. we will promote to the Mega Hawlucha and actually swing with it, and hopefully he will survive a hit. Because obviously, in the context of the last video, obviously we got gusted on our Fez, but in this case, they're down to 2 prize cards. They can't win by going on Hawlucha, they have to target it. Well, that's perfect. So we're going to Arven, so I can grab myself a Night Stretcher, because that way I can still draw, and I can obviously still, you know, do the attack. There's Gravity Mountain. Okay, that's fine. So I think I just go CC on this. Obviously, I need to recover that energy first. So we'll grab back the energy. I'll do that. I'll bench... Actually, no. Do I want to grab a Hariyama? Well, a Makuhita? I think I do. Because I can go for Gust for Game on a Chikorita. So I'll do that. I'll then CC the Mega. And Somersault Dive 310. Take out the Mega. And we take out the Forest as well, but that's not too relevant. We just have to now hope that Teal Mask doesn't completely destroy us, because at this moment, Teal Mask can attack. We have to rely on the heads flip of Tenacious Body, because if we don't, we lose. So it's time for a little bit of copium, folks. Cross your fingers, hope for the best. They do 300 damage, but obviously the ability kicks in. Do we get a heads flip? Of course we don't. Oh well. It was worth the try at least, you know. I'll take that, you know. Mega Hawlucha at least got to do something in this video, but as I said, in testing, that is pretty much how it goes with this stupid ability. Why did they not just give it Pika's ability, and that would be fine? But no, you know what? I actually enjoyed that. You know, it was nice to have a backup attacker that's a basic and obviously can hit just as hard as Lucario can. I do think if they was to balance this card a little bit better, it would have been better to just give it a 2 attack cost, not a 3. I know obviously it's a Mega Pokemon and obviously a 2 attack cost for that much potential damage with 260 and obviously Premium Power Pro. That is quite a lot. But personally, I think it would just make the card better, and I think they kind of need to, you know, I mean, they don't really do erratas like what Yu-Gi-Oh used to, but, you know, that could be something, you know, like, if this, well, then again, counter game would actually not be a bad tool, but still, I don't know. So, what did I think to the deck? I don't think this deck was too bad, you know, like, Mega Lucario obviously did most of the work, but Hawlucha did get to do something, you know, like, we had to obviously cope on the heads flip there, but I'm not too mad that it obviously flipped tails, because, you know, it's not always going to happen. But, you know what? I think that went pretty okay. You know, like, we don't obviously lose all 3 games, but, you know, I'm not too bummed about that, because at the end of the day, there is only so much I can do with a a Mega deck that, you know, we did whiff in the... Well, we whiffed in the first game, we whiffed in the second game, and, well, we had to rely on a coin flip, which is never the nicest thing, but, you know, I don't think that went too badly. I think the deck, like I said, I would just play 1 Mega Hawlucha if you really want to play it. Probably as for your additional card is add that Night Fighting Energy, like I said. In this video, we didn't really struggle to find the Fighting Energy, but obviously in testing I did. So playing a Night Fighting Energy might be something you can consider. Other than that, I think this list is perfectly fine, and also maybe a 3rd Hariyama just so you have it, but, you know, again, we didn't really prize the Hariyamas, so that's something as well, but, no, I genuinely enjoyed this list. I don't think it's a list I'm going to keep around, and I'm definitely not going to be picking myself a Mega Hawlucha anytime soon, but you get my point. But anyway, I'm going to leave you to it for today. I really hope you enjoyed seeing Mega Lucario with the Mega Hawlucha, and I'll see you all next time.